In today's video, I'm gonna tell you the things I love about Princess Cruises. So let's go. What is going on, cruise family? Greetings from the Caribbean Princess. It feels amazing to be back on a Princess cruise ship again, enjoying the Princess experience. People ask me a lot why I love Princess so much, and I try to describe the Princess experience, but it's really hard to quantify. But I'm gonna attempt to do that today in this video by telling you the things I love about Princess Cruises. These are in no particular order, just a random order. So the first thing I love about Princess Cruises are the itineraries. So there are tons of different itineraries you can take with Princess Cruises around the world. You can cruise in Europe, do the Mediterranean cruise, Spain, Rome, Israel, Morocco, all kinds of amazing Mediterranean places. And then you can take a transatlantic to the United States and cruise around the Caribbean like I'm cruising right now. Hop over to California, cruise the Mexican Riviera, go up to Alaska, hang out there for a little bit, then cruise over to Hawaii, down to Tahiti, over to New Zealand, around Australia, up to Japan, then over to Asia, go to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, go to Vietnam, go to Thailand, go to Singapore. And there's just so many amazing itineraries. You can go to Antarctica, all kinds of amazing itineraries. The next thing I love about Princess Cruises are the deals they have for solos. They always have some low solo supplement deals for solos, and not all cruise lines are like that. Some cruise lines I love, but it's really hard to find a good deal for solos. But Princess always seems to have good solo deals. I have a whole video about it. I'll link it somewhere up here. I use a website called Cruise Plum, but you can always find solo deals with Princess Cruises. Okay, so the next thing I love about Princess Cruises is the technology on board, specifically the Medallion technology. I love it. It's hard for me to go back to a cruise card when I go back to other cruise lines. This thing is just amazing. I know some people have had issues with it. I've done a ton of Princess cruising, been on 3 different Princess ships, and I've never had an issue with the Medallion technology. I love it. When you walk up to your door automatically opens. My favorite thing about it is, unlike other ships where the pizza place, the ice cream place always have lines, the coffee place always have lines, they usually don't on Princess, because you can use the Medallion technology to order whatever you want on the cruise ship, and they'll bring it to wherever you are. The Medallion technology is amazing. If you're traveling with friends, you can track them on the app if you want to, and so you can find out where your kids are on the ship, or your husband, or your wife, or your mother, or your father. With this Medallion technology, you can always find them. So it's a really cool piece of technology that I really miss when I'm on other cruise ships. I also just like to be able to wear it on my watch like this. I don't have a cruise card hanging around my neck. They come with all kinds of accessories as well that you can get for the Medallion technology. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, could you smash that thumbs up button real quick? And if you're not subscribed, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Back to the video. Okay, the next thing I love, I absolutely adore this about Princess Cruises, are how comfortable their beds are. I don't know how they do it. All the other cruise lines I've been on, the beds have not been very comfortable, but on Princess Cruises, all the ships I've been on, every single itinerary, every single cabin I've had, the beds have been ridiculously comfortable. And I wish all other cruise lines would figure out where they buy their mattress toppers and shop there. If you've been cruising for a while, you probably know this, but each room is usually equipped with 2 single beds, and when you request a queen size bed, they just put those 2 beds together and put a mattress topper on it. On most cruise lines, the mattress topper is not very good. I fall between the 2 beds all the time. That's never happened on Princess, and it's always super comfy. I have the best sleep ever on Princess Cruises. I just love the mattresses that they have on the ship. I love the beds. The next thing I love about Princess Cruises is the generous onboard credit you get when you sail with Princess. There's always some kind of deal that'll give you onboard credit for just booking. It's usually between $50 and $200. $200 is the most I've ever gotten of onboard credit for booking, but there's a ton of other ways to get onboard credit. I'm retired military, so I get the military onboard credits, and I own the shares of stock the Carnival Corporation, which allows you to get onboard credit on Carnival, Holland America, and Princess. For $900, you can buy 100 shares of Carnival stock, and then you get up to $250 onboard credit. When you take a 14-day cruise, they'll give you $250. And I always buy a future cruise credit on board. You give them $100 when you're on board the ship, and then you get $100 off your next cruise. It just gets deducted off the price of your next cruise, and then you get from $25 to $150 credit. So most of the time when I'm cruising on a Princess cruise, I have somewhere between $300 and $800 onboard credit. And so I can buy all the foo-foo coffees I want and not really have to worry about it. I can take excursions, they're on the house. It's just an amazing benefit, and there's so many ways to get onboard credit, onboard Princess cruises. Another reason I love them. Oh, by the way, speaking of like a bunch of freebies for Princess cruises, so I have a couple links down below. One of them's to Rakuten, and if you use Rakuten, they give you 1.5% cash back on Princess cruises, so it's just free money back. And they either send you a check every quarter or they'll deposit it into PayPal. I get it via PayPal. And my friend Andrea is the one who told me about that. Shout out to her. And if you use that link below, they give you $30, and they gave me $30 as well. Also, there's a link to Princess cruises down below, and if you've never booked Princess cruises, I think if you never booked, maybe you can use it if you have booked, but I think it's if you never booked. They'll give you $25 off your cruise, and then they throw $25 off my next cruise as well. So that's another way to save some money on Princess cruises that doesn't cost you anything. The next thing I love about Princess cruises is the ambiance. Princess is kind of famous for saying, hey, we don't have water slides and all that whiz-bang stuff. We're just gonna give you a classic cruise experience, and it's pretty awesome on here. What they do have a lot of, though, more than other cruise lines, is they have a lot of pools. There are tons of pools on board, including an adults only pool. I guess that would probably be one of my favorite things as well, although it's not on this list. But the ambiance on board Princess cruises is just a really, really classic feel. Everybody's really friendly. If you've been on one Princess ship, you can probably navigate all the other Princess ships. There's just this ambiance and feel on a Princess ship that I haven't found anywhere else, although I've heard it's very similar on Cunard, although a little bit elevated, and Holland America. Okay, I mentioned this before, but another thing I love about Princess cruises is the lack of the gimmicky stuff, like go-kart tracks, water slides, rock climbing walls, things like that. On the last ship I was on with another cruise line, they had a rock climbing wall. I never saw anybody on it. I'm sure there was, but it wasn't used very much by most of the guests on board. And Princess seems to focus on the things that most of their clientele will use. There's always a ton of live music. There's always amazing live music venues. There's some really good specialty restaurants on board. I mentioned before, there's tons of pools. There's a private adult pool called the Sanctuary Pool. And a little secret, a lot of people think you have to pay for the Sanctuary, which is a private area, so you have access to the Sanctuary Pool. That's not correct. But a lot of people think that, so there's hardly ever anybody there, and you almost get your own private pool every day, especially in the mornings. You'll get that private pool. Okay, next up is something kind of superficial, but it's the TV setup. So they also have Medallion technology in the TV. It's very interactive compared to other cruise ships I've been on. There are some live channels, but there are also some on-demand movies and TV, and they always have some really great TV programs. So if you plan on spending a little time, maybe you get sick on board a cruise ship, and so you're stuck in bed. The entertainment system is better than the other cruise lines I've been on, and another reason I love Princess. Speaking of TV, the next thing I love about Princess cruises is this morning show they have called The Wake Show. As far as I know, it's the only cruise line that does it. Maybe some other ones do, but it's the most well-produced and well-organized and entertaining. It's usually hosted by the cruise director and one other person in the cruise director's team. So you really get to know the cruise director watching this every morning. They do the highlights of the schedule, the highlights of the port you're going to, and they talk about a bunch of different things. On some ships, I don't even know who the cruise director was, but on Princess ships, because of the Wake Show, which I always turn on first thing in the morning when I wake up and have my coffee, I always feel like I know the cruise director, even if I never see that person. The next thing I love about Princess cruises is their embarkation day. Nobody does embarkation better so far for me than Princess cruises. I don't know what it is, but there's never a wait. And that was before I was platinum. Now I'm platinum, I get to go into a special line and all that stuff, and it's really, really quick. It's like 5 minutes.
So here's the entry area. No waiting right now. So pretty seamless. A lot of cruise lines do not do boarding good, but Princess definitely does in all my experiences.
Okay, so those are the things I love about Princess cruises. There's actually a ton more things that I really like, I love, I adore. and I don't want this video to run too long. So if you're a Princess Cruises sailor, tell me down below what you love about Princess Cruises. And if you sailed Princess Cruises and you didn't like them, tell me down below why you didn't like them. Thanks for watching. See you next video.